Okay, here we are. Another episode of the Empower Hospitality and Home Sharing webinar. And today I am very, very happy to have a special guest from one of the countries I really like to visit. It's close to my home country. It's Croatia. That actually 20 years ago was like the new California. I don't know how to say. It was like the new emerging market for tourism, and now it became one of the top destination. You know, a lot of tourists are going to Croatia every year. Became very, very popular. And today I'm very happy to introduce a special guest, a special woman, the Woman of Croatia. That's the title of the webinar. She has done it all. She worked for companies in the sector she studied, and she made her own. But I want her to tell her story. Her name is Natalia, if I pronounce it correctly, Kresic Lonchar. Okay? There you are, Natalia.
Hello, everybody. I'm really happy to be part of this webinar project. I was interested into hearing Elio's introduction the other day, so I agreed to have this live. And let me start a little bit about myself. I live in Croatia, as Elio said just before. Today, I have my own business, and I take care of 2 family estates in the capital of Croatia, Zagreb, and also at the far south, Dubrovnik. So, but it was this is the result of my 15-year-old career, let's say. Right after my college, which was oriented to tourism right at the beginning, I got a job in one of the progressive small companies at that time that grew step by step into one of the best corporations in tourism here in the region, not only in Croatia. So I was there to witness all the transformation from this, let's say, startup up to the corporative business. So this was a period of several years that I was working throughout this transformative company. That was the first one to introduce online booking of self-catering accommodations in Croatia. It now sounds like any other promo slogan for online travel agency, the OTAS. But 15 years ago, it was revolutionary, because at that time we did not know Airbnb and Booking.com, even less. So it was the time that you wouldn't believe that these big machines would appear and actually take over hospitality. We can be straightforward. So during that time, I also went to additional educations, which then step by step created my interest into some other fields of tourism industry today.
Sorry, what did you study?
I studied tourism and economics in Dubrovnik.
Oh, Dubrovnik. Okay, good.
Yes.
So you are from that part of Croatia, right?
From the region, not really the city of Dubrovnik, but from the region close by. Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell me again, what was it? Cevacic, for the people listening. Can you explain what it is?
It's one of the most famous words in our complicated language that needs no branding. So it's minced meat fingers made on grill. So it's pronounced cevapcici. If you
Oh.
want to challenge your tongue, it's cevapcici.
Cevapcici.
Right.
Yeah, sure. Okay, sounds good. I've actually bit. It wasn't cevacic. It was actually bolognese sauce, so very Italian. Anyway, I really missed the cevapcic and what was the other one? The bread with inside the spinach or the meat?
Burek.
The burek. The burek. Yes, yes, delicious, delicious. Here they are selling burek in those Muslim shop, maybe Iran, Lebanon, those
Oh,
shops.
okay. Oh, okay. Okay. These taste a little bit different, but it's the same concept. Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. So you were talking about then back in the days there was an Airbnb and it wasn't so mainstream, and yeah, please continue on that. And actually, I want you to talk about why did you start all this? What moves you to study tourism, to work in tourism? Why?
Well, ever since I was able to make some serious decisions, so around college, let's say, I always was interested in languages, foreign cultures, traveling. So this is the position of somebody who does the traveling. But when you turn it on to business, then you move to business that actually welcomes others traveling around the world, coming to your country. Or if you move somewhere else, you can always assimilate, I think, through tourism. I I had a master's degree in Barcelona. If you've read through my CV, so this was in 2007 and 8, and at that time I came there as a student, but had plenty of extra time, and really within a few months I found a job in a travel agency that was really another experience for me. So what I want to say is that tourism brings you together. You get to know people from even from the inside. The industry is still the best I could think for myself. I would find it shocking now to leave everything and enter into banking or something completely different. I'm grown into it, into having connection with people and to think about it. So what to expect, what to make better. A lot of aspects of tourism is a general word. Today, I think it needs to imply sustainability, planning, I don't know, country branding, all these things that intertwine, between different aspects. Having successful tourism in a small community actually brings the economy, brings another lifestyle for the local people. It presents authenticity to those who are visiting. So it really implies a lot of good values. That's why essentially I'm still into it and always thinking about something new and what's the future going to bring.
It's very, very interesting. So you have this vision basically of putting people together. I think it was Nokia. He said connecting people. And yes, tourism is this, the world is in one place. Suddenly it's Dubrovnik with the Cevapcic, or it's Rovinji to talk about Croatia, where
Right.
people from all over the world are coming into one place, actually your country, and then suddenly become one, even though they are coming from all over the place, but still they are united under one place, and they absorb maybe the local culture, or they just visit, or they observe the local culture. Okay, so your story is basically you decided you wanted to study, you wanted to work in tourism, then you took your luggages and your life and you took it over to Barcelona, so from Croatia to Spain, and
Right.
there you study and you work, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and then
I
you
I
went
saw.
back home with mom and papa.
Yeah, I went home actually, and I got married. So then this is a new era again. But no, really, after Spain, a lot of my impressions on tourism, what can be done professionally, evolved, right? Because I came to a country that really has a long-lasting tradition. It has a very varied tourism. That's at that time in Croatia, and still we are struggling to have differentiation. So to move back from having a sunny holiday on the beach, it's a cliche that it doesn't hold much. It doesn't actually need much quality or services, or you cannot really build much on sun and sea, just as a primary reason to travel. So there can be a lot more done considering people coming to the country. So after Spain, I was quite inspired. And I had a goal in my head to sometime after I've considered this corporation challenges a little bit limiting for me, where you just could not put your ideas into action like before when the company was smaller.
Just a moment,
So
Natalia. So let me understand one thing. So you were in Spain and you learned so much, and you said Spain is like for tourism is one of the best country, right?
right.
Okay, and then you said basically after you came back, you noticed Croatia was still growing in tourism. It was kind of
Right.
new, but it was keep growing. And then you said that they are still focusing on the mass tourism leisure, where people are
Mhm.
going vacationing on the beach. They just want some sun. It's a cliche. You said there is no much more than just that. And you said
Mhm.
instead you would like to bring the diversity like you have seen it in Spain, right?
Right, right. That's correct. But of course, it took me some time. At first, we have me and my husband we have agreed to um, to redecorate and renovate his house in Dubrovnik. So to start as our own special accommodation. So it took us few years to make this as a project, and I tested everything I wanted as a perspective of this summer house. I wanted to make it competitive enough and to be successful. Okay, so after now 3 or 4 years we have done, I can say that we are happy with the result. But this was a private plan. Of course, it involved a lot of investment, so it took us time. But in the meantime, until this was all being developed, I registered my own company as marketing and consulting for small businesses like ourselves. So right now, just to give you a real example, I'm in connection with, I'm giving consulting services to people that are are developing accommodations and resorts with a story, not far from Zagreb, in the hilltops, where there are a lot of legends, castles, fairies, stories. So they want to build a story around their little villages, and I find this really challenging. I find this creative above all, and I want to be involved in these smaller projects that bring quality in all together of the offer. It's really, it cannot be farther than the sun and the beach. So this is the present moment, let's say.
So you let me recap. So you said you went to Spain, then you go back to Croatia. You have
Right.
found a man, you marry the man, and then the man has a house. So you say, okay, let's bring my passion to tourism into your house. Let's welcome the people of the world into your house, our house. And then now you moved away from that project. It's still running, right? But now you're more interested
Yeah.
to let the world discover the inside of Croatia, not the coast, but more the villages, right?
Uh, it actually doesn't matter to me that much if it's inside or the seaside. You know, it's not that important. I think the creativity and effort you put into the service, even though if it's a small hotel or if it's a rural household that welcomes groups, it's just I think it needs to stand out. You know.
Okay. Okay, I understand. So you want to provide a very good quality service. How would you define a good quality service? Tell me a bad quality service, a bad guest experience, and a good one.
Well, I think we were just discussing this earlier about the numbers. What makes the employees that you meet firsthand when you arrive as a visitor, as a tourist, as somebody that has booked a night or a week? If you are really one of 1,000 that week, you will probably be treated differently than being one of the 10. So when you concentrate on smaller estates, smaller properties, smaller scale, I don't think that resorts are necessarily bad, but you cannot really change much within a resort. But when you have a smaller property, it doesn't need to be accommodation. It could be an authentic restaurant in a special place. Then you are in charge of the situation. You can really meet the guests. I think that this contact is essential because today we have been living accelerated, and more. We have thousands of contacts within our smartphones, but in real life, the real contact has gained even more value. So this smaller scale, I think, gives us opportunity to attract traveler of today, so they can really make real memories. It doesn't matter what they post afterwards. It does matter, of course, but still, I think it's important to make an impression, right? To give them inspiration to post something afterwards, not just to leave a comment. Like on Booking, you had 2 or 3 clicks of your review, so it really has become too standardized. Booking.com is a machine, you cannot find this. They fight the numbers, so we can leave it to them. But on our side of service providers is to provide the best possible, to have understanding for the guests' need when they come, for their expectations. So it's a wide topic, but I think everybody wants to be noticed and welcomed. And that's the essence. It has been the essence even 100 years ago, right? When you meet and greet.
Yeah, sure. So I understand. Very interesting. So you said today's world, we have so many contacts on the phone, but then the people that are important are few and even more valuable than before. And then you said that in this world of significance, where people are faking their profile, they want to look more than what they are. Then it's important to give some real, authentic experience, and also your job is to impress them with some very good experience. Yeah, why don't you give me an example of a bad experience? Just I don't know, maybe you saw it in Spain or you saw it in Croatia. Tell me a story.
Story. Well, you just mentioned before you like the food in Croatia. But I'm much more critical about this. When I found myself in a really busy tourist place, and then there's a lot of possibilities. You have thousands of people dozens of cultures mingling around, and this hectic, busy place offers more or less everybody offers the same menu. You know, the menu that does not offer Croatian delicacies in the right way. It's just again copy paste. You know, so this just shows to the overall visitors that you don't think it's necessary to develop. You know, you have people coming anyway, so why should we try more? So there are quite a few Rivieras that have this malady, I can say, you know, and then for the really good restaurant, you need to search online or within word of mouth, or you need to do some digging to have a really fantastic meal in Croatia. And the ingredients are fantastic, and our tradition is great. So it's a shame. You maybe expected a story from A to Z, an experience I've had, but I cannot think of an episode right now. But in general, this is our not such a good side.
So I think if I understand correctly, Croatia is still very much mass tourism, and there are stereotypes, or there are like standards. So you go to a place, the food will be more or less the same type, and also the type of tourism, this leisure tourism on the beach.
Well,
This is
it is. I cannot say this black and white, but this is one of the challenges we are constantly fighting with, and it's not fighting, but it's just a part of the development. So until the entrepreneurs, small and medium, the big hotels, you know, they're out of the picture. They have their own policy, so they're doing well. You know, it depends what they choose to focus on. But the local entrepreneur needs to recognize their values and to promote them in right way. And this is always authentic experience, good service, local charm, you know, a local touch on anything. It can be from the materials you use within your establishment, whatever it is, until even, you know, all the little details. You just need to work constantly on the details, I think, because they make the larger picture. And larger picture that has been put in as a puzzle, you know, it gives a quality. It projects somebody's thinking about the end product. So I think that's what in general in tourism we need to focus on.
Yeah,
it's
very interesting. I agree with you. We need to wrap this up. Actually, the second part of the webinar, I want to talk about more events, what's happening now in the future, in the very near future. We're talking about the beat in Milan, and then we have something going on with Mondosol. I want to talk about it. But with you, let's talk about your future personally, and then the future of hospitality in Croatia, because you've been talking about challenges. Very, very interesting. I mean, your past, your present, but let's just focus from now on the coming here, or in 5 years, in 10 years, or you know, even just the coming season. What do you think it's gonna change in the marketplace, in the hospitality tourism industry for Croatia and for you?
One of the biggest challenges right now across our country is the lack of the workforce. So tourism,
wow.
even the small scale or the bigger scale, the hospitality really is a motor. You know, it needs a lot of human power. So as we were both in host conference in London, we witnessed at least 15-20 solutions to get the guests inside the accommodation without any presence of anybody. No, this is
You're
the
right.
part.
You're right.
Yeah, right. one of the part lockbox, safe box, you know. So it's not just Croatia; it's everywhere. You just cannot get enough people to serve the demand of the growing numbers, because people are traveling constantly and more and every year more. But this year, let's get back to Croatia. I think we will have a quite steady year, because 2019 was challenging in the sense that the reservations calendars for the first time in few years have began to show some changes. We were always expecting same markets to book at the same time. And then in 2019, we had a lot of talk about the late bookings, the difference in bookings, the dynamics of people traveling. And I think in 2020, we are now expecting this. And we had the whole year to adapt. Well,
Okay.
yes.
So you're saying in 2019 you saw a change in the market in terms of revenue. Did you see also slowing down? You saw less revenue than 2018?
Everybody was afraid that if it is showing less revenue, let's say at this time of the year and up until April, the prognosis were a little bit not so optimistic. But in the end, the season and the whole year were successful. So it just shows us that we need to expect the differences in these dynamics. So in 2020, for example, we're having a UK market is really important for us. And now the Brexit has finally came into action. We need to be ready for what's going to come, you know. This is really generally speaking,
Okay.
just as an example.
So your main market now it's UK. You have let me have a picture, because for what I knew about Croatian, and I don't know much, I just been to Rovinj a couple of times, so in the north, and then I visit up to Pula, and you know, in the north part. So I knew Germans were one of the main population, one of the biggest country visiting Croatia, as well as Italy in the north. And you are telling me now it's English, UK.
It depends from destination to destination, but I just said it's important market. It's not the biggest for us. In numbers, it's not the biggest.
What's the biggest?
It's the Central Europe. Altogether.
Central Europe, so Germany, Austria, Switzerland.
Czech Republic, Hungary, Slovenia. Whole Slovenians come to Croatia. It's natural, we're close, but whole this Central Europe gravitates actually to our seaside, as well as yours, Italian. But they really, but from the UK, tourists are those who fly, obviously. So they have really good connections for the last 10 or 15 years. So their numbers have increased really much.
I see that. Okay.
I also wanted to make an emphasis on sustainable development in any tourism development. So this has become a major issue for every industry, but tourism has a lot of responsibility, because it's the industry that makes villages grow 3 times during hectic parts of the year. So this is an ongoing challenge, which many destinations need to focus. That's my standpoint.
Okay. Yeah, you probably have seen that in Barcelona. The city really exploded, 16 million tourists or something like that. They had to restrict, as well as Venice in Italy. They're really making restrictions instead of making the city grow. It's like now it's exploding, both Barcelona and Venice, and I think I heard even Amsterdam. They point the finger into Airbnb phenomenon, but it's more like mass tourism and low cost transportation made it so accessible and especially now for these emerging countries like Asia, South America, Russia, and they are
Yes.
really crowding small villages, even you said in Croatia. So it's becoming sustainable, something extremely critical now. For example, in Venice, they're talking about all these crews that are destroying the land now, because it's a difficult balance between water and land. And when there are too many people in the land and there is all this water coming in, then there are flooding, and it's a lot of problems. I do believe, like you said. Okay, so to wrap up, why don't you tell a little bit about your company, where people can find you, what you can offer to people.
Well, when I registered the company, I actually planned to apply for to apply one of my projects and ideas for government funding. So it didn't go through. So that's why I registered the company a little bit earlier than I thought previously. So maybe a year afterwards, I quit the corporation, and then I started to plan the company's work. I see myself growing in these small and medium projects as I have been by now. For the moment, I have been maintaining my blog on the web page of the company. So for general public, it's only in Croatian, because this is my mother tongue, and when I got inspired into some topics, I wrote best in my own language. But for anybody who plans to, who needs a special itinerary for coming to Croatia, who has business plans, and is not familiar with the country in any way, I can offer help and these consulting services and orientation, to put it into one word, for foreigners. And then when you get into some plans and real projects, I have few people who I work with for marketing strategies and branding. So this is the other part of what I would be able to offer.
Okay, tell a little bit more about those type of services, because so you have a property that it's your own, and then you are also offering services to guests, if I understood, if they want to come to Croatia and they want to do a specific tour, and you also offer services to host as a consultant.
Yes, this is like my time is divided, let's say half between what happens in our properties as a family, and then I maintain my blog, and sometimes I get inquiries, and then I get into contact with different people. With some, I get to realize a collaboration. For example, there's a old house being rebuilt on the seaside, and they need to focus on a name, on their quality of their listing. Also, they need some interesting perspective into paperwork. They need to get to be able to operate. So I wrap up like a whole package, like a start package for people who want to start with vacation rentals or a rural. If they already have a rural household and they want to offer tourist services like degustations, offer of food, presentation of olive oil. These are some things I have been doing.
Okay, it's great. Well, Natalia, thank you very much. Now we're going to the second half. You're welcome to stay, or if you want to go, I heard you have two girls. Maybe you have to take care of them, and maybe you have to prepare for tomorrow. I don't know. You have to write on your blog. It's up to you. You can stay. If if you want to say hello to our audience, that I think they were delighted to hear you. The voice of a woman, especially in the tourism, I think it's always welcome. As I said before, I don't know if it was cliche, it wasn't very well accepted by another woman, but I said that I think women are naturally inclined towards tourism. They are probably the one in the family that books holidays. It's in charge of this planning. They are very clever when it comes to, you know, putting together details and the family into a car or into a plane and then going around
Yes.
places. You know, I think the man is maybe it's a good hunter, but a woman is definitely a good collector, at least in the whole days.
You read my mind, and I think my husband, when he's gonna hear this, he's gonna smile because that's exactly what happens.
Okay, okay. Yeah, well, with the modern world, you know, and here, especially in the north, the women are more Vikings, and maybe they have as well a hunting personality. So I don't want to generalize. You know, with all due respect, we're all different. I'm just saying that it's a good thing that women are actually very good in this, and I noticed as well, as a matter of fact, companies like Airbnb, they chose to transition from a blue logo to a pink logo, as well as the event in London was hosted in pink. So I think the presence of women in the industry, it's very high, and I think they are really making a good industry. Actually, the CEO of Booking.com is now a woman, very, very clever. Okay, so thank you very much for being here, Natalia. And like I said, if you want to stay for the second part,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about more the program that we offer, the events that we're organizing right now. We were talking about the beat in Milan. You said you're not going to come, right?
No, no. I haven't planned to come, and let me just say thank you for the opportunity to collaborate with you. I'm going to stay for the second part because I have some time dedicated to the webinar.
Oh, that is so nice. That is so nice from you. And I don't know, your husband, if he's taking care of your kids. Thank you very much. And yes, it's also been a pleasure and an honor to have you here. We actually didn't manage to connect in a host in London. I was just talking with a guy, with an important guy today from Italy called Gianpaolo, and he's organizing a similar event to the one in London, but in Italy. And he has been organizing a lot of events in Spain. We might be doing some events together. Gianpaolo is a very clever guy. I just got to know him through other connection. You know, in the industry, in the end, I don't say it's a small war, but I think the big players or the usual player, people like you with a lot of experience, tend to hang around in the same places, and so there is always a chance to meet each others. And I think London was one. Maybe it was too big, you know, 2,000, almost 3,000 people, and they are planning to doubling in November this year. And in BIT in Milan, the international trade show, Borsa Internazionale del Turismo. For the Italian listening, I still speak some Italian, and that's like a 50,000 people event. That's like huge. You know, if you're not coming, okay, I'll probably shoot some videos and put it on YouTube for you to watch. And also, we are organizing a social gathering, you know, like after trade show. This was very popular in London. I remember after the host 2019, and it was actually Halloween time. So I remember finishing the trade show. We had a stand we were exhibiting, as well as I had a speech. And I remember after closing the stand, we went to a pub. I think it was called The Pig and the Butcher, something like this. But anyway, it was funny to see those people, you know, on suit or these business women that coming in the pub and drinking, get wasted and drunk, and then going to clubbing. I didn't go to club, but definitely it's more like authentic. No, then you see the people. They're real people, no? Maybe the alcohol also helps a little bit to warm up. But anyway, it's funny, and I would like to do something similar in Milan, which is my home city. So I hope if you're listening, for you, unfortunately not, Natalia, but for the people watching this webinar, maybe today or the following days, if you're planning to come, Actually, there is this event on Eventbrite and on Mondosol. We also send it by email. If you ever receive, it's extremely simple. You just go to Eventbrite and you search for ETW, which stands for Empower, like the name of this webinar, and then Tour Worldwide. We chose Empower because we want to give power to the hospitality industry, to the tourism. We want to empower people, so really work on their mindset at every level. You mentioned the workforce as well as the leadership. I think everyone in anything they do, 80% is psychology, 20% is mechanic. So everything starts from the mind, and we really want to work on that. So one of the side projects of Mondosol and myself is to work on motivation. We wrote a book that it's also on the website on Amazon. It's called Imagine Your Dream. And with that, there is a program where people can watch videos and they can do like a diary. And with that being said, people can come to Eventbrite, search for ETW Milan. I'm just going to show it real quick. People should be able to see my screen. So this is Eventbrite, and actually this is the page that you can also find on Mondosol, and it's actually here in the bottom. There is a link, mondosol.com. There is a link called here, Learn Events, and then you actually pop into Eventbrite, and you can see we're organizing multiple events. Actually, at the moment, 3. One is the webinar where Natalia was our special guest today. Thank you very much, Natalia. And then we have this event in Milan, which is connected to BIT. The BIT, or like I said, Borsa Internazionale del Turismo, the international trade show. Let me show it to you if you haven't seen it yet. It's basically the biggest trade show in Milan. I hope the people in Rimini don't get upset with me. There is also TTG, just to name also another very, very big trade show. But this is the first and the oldest tourism trade show in Italy, and I think it's still the biggest. And it's going to be from 9 to 11, Sunday to Tuesday, and February 2020 in the old exhibition center of Milan, not the new one. And then the 9th, so the Sunday, it's going to be open to the public. They are expecting 50,000 people. And the 10 and the 11, when actually Mondosol and myself, my team is going to be there, it's for operators only. So for people working in the sectors. Expect to see 70 plus countries representing, their beauty. Also thousands of exhibitors of hotels, and there is food, there is wedding, there is a job, there is conferences and meeting. It's a big box with a lot of it. You see the girl with the luggage, or the guy with the luggage. If you're looking for inspiration, definitely come here. If you're looking for some fun, you might also be popping into our event after the trade show. So after you've done the walk and your feet hurt, you might want to come with us and have a drink, eat some food. In Milan, it's very popular, this aperitif. Have you ever been, Natalia, to Milan?
I'm really sad to say. It's close to us, but not yet. Even though I have a roommate from Barcelona living near Milan, so I have no excuse anymore.
Have you heard about this aperitif? Do you know what it is?
Well, I don't know. What's the name?
Aperitif in Milan is basically, I don't know if it's famous abroad, but definitely in Milan, it's something like, it's not a dinner and it's not a drink, but it's a mix. So some years ago, I don't remember if it was in the 80s, in the 90s, but let's just say they call it Milano da bere, drinking in Milan. The bars, they had this idea. Okay, so while people are finishing to work, 5 o'clock, let's say in Milan, they close their offices, they should go home and have dinner around 7 or 8, or maybe they want to go to a restaurant and they eat outside. So they have these 2-3 hours. So the bar said, okay, why don't we say to people, come to us after work, have a drink, and we're going to put you some finger food. And that became almost like, instead of the dinner, because some bars organize so much food buffet that then people are combining the two things. The aperitif becomes what they call apericena, aperi dinner. So drinks and food together. You have this huge buffet, monumental. Some places are really going far and beyond what's it's insane. It's in some places are you know like beautiful and elegant and amazing food. So we are planning to do this social event. So if you happen to be there for the BIT in Milan, you want to pop over, you know, we are just setting up the location. If you come to Eventbrite, you will see we have put Sheraton Diana Majestic, which is a Marriott hotel. We're not 100% sure it's gonna be here, but it's definitely gonna be after the trade show. So when the trade show finish at 6:30 p.m., so in the evening, then we're gonna have a drink with you. We're gonna eat something. We're gonna talk about business, and we are planning to have you know, people working in company like Natalia, like myself, and you know, to have some industry leader, some software companies, some property owners. And so you can get your ticket. It's going to be a free entry. And then we have some sponsorship. If you are a company and you're interested in sponsoring, actually, if you're not coming to BEAT, we have a special package called Virtual Sponsor, where we basically represent you. We go around, we give some of your materials, we talk about your company. If you have a property, I'm just talking about properties now. We're not going to represent any kind of companies in BEAT, but if you have a property, let's say an hotel that is actually partnering with Mondosol, we'll be happy to show your company, talk about your company, your properties in BEAT Milan together with Mondosol, which is basically kind of an association of property owners. Okay, so you can read more about this event on Eventbrite. I'll leave it up to you to read the details. Like I said, don't quote me on the location because it might not be 100% sure. This is a beautiful, beautiful hotel, but it might be just a simple bar or a restaurant. We are still looking forward to define the place, I think tomorrow, at latest after tomorrow. But definitely, you should just come. It's a social gathering, networking event, and it's a very, very important opportunity to meet the real person, you know, behind the suit. I was just mentioning on Host 2019 in London, the time we spent on the pub was actually more valuable than the time we spent on the trade show, just because you happen to see the person in real life. So if they're drunk, if they're pissed, if they're angry, instead of this business, polite, neutral style where you need to behave and you're not yourself. But with a couple of drinks, you know, something pops up. In vino veritas, they said the Latins, the Romans, and that's when you drink a little bit, then it comes the real you, the truth. And so get your ticket for this exclusive event. It's not going to be thousands of people. It's just going to be hands full of people. You know, we are planning to have maximum 100 people. And then we're going to talk about tourism, like we are doing in the webinar, hospitality, you know, whatever it is, the new trend, it's the extra hotel hospitality today. Airbnb, it's on the scene to be quoted, IPO, Wall Street, 30 billion from people that were going to be evicted from their apartment. So today is that, tomorrow will be something else. We don't know, but we're going to talk about this industry that is definitely growing and booming. And we're going to talk it together. We're going to have some private meetings possibly, or possibility to do networking and business. So like I said, go over to Eventbrite or even Mondosol on the bottom of the page, click events or search on Eventbrite for ETW Milan, and then get your tickets and get in the loop. We'll give you the details by email. You can register for free to this event. And then we are also organizing other events that I want to show it. Like I mentioned, the webinar that is happening every week. I think with Natalia, we had a problem of the day. Last week, I wasn't feeling good. You know, I had some problem with my teeth. Luckily, my dentist has fixed it. And we're usually coming on a Monday. And so I invite you to come every Monday to stay, because there are always great people like Natalia. I think we're going to have Ryan soon, which is a very cool guy from UK with a lot of experience in PR. And then the other event we're working on that we set some dates is the ETW in Asia. We have the destination, the beautiful Lotus Desaro in Pandar, Penawar. I think we will not have any problem with this Chinese virus, hopefully by October. We also decided to slide this event from the spring to autumn, so we have more time. It's going to be a big event. It's expected to be 3,000 people for Malaysia, which is the year of Malaysia 2020, will be a very, very important event. So we're hoping you can come even just to have some fun. This is a place amazing, beautiful beaches of Malaysia, together with this fantastic historic forest. And then you have this resort, which is a wonderland for family and kids, because you have a water park together with swimming pool, huge fields for sports, and then you have a gym, and like I said, the private beach is just walking distance. And we're gonna have so much fun together with a lot of education, so you can learn and earn. You can have a lot of fun, and you can also do business, because we're gonna put together the good people, the good atmosphere, and that's gonna lead to good business as well. So with that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up, and like every time, I'm gonna give something to the audience, because you've been so kind to listen. And if you didn't come live and you're watching this, after a day or a week, a month or a year, I'm still gonna give you this opportunity. It might go away in 1 year, but I think you will stay. So I wanna just mention it very quickly. If you haven't received this email, actually in the email, I talked about Natalia. She's here with us today. Thank you very much again. Croatia, beautiful country. If you haven't been, just book your plane or jump on the car and just go to Croatia. Amazing Croatia. And then I want to mention the scholarship and the internship that we are offering. So there is possibility for people to study with Mondosol, which is an educational company, and to work, as well as a challenge you and everyone else. Natalia, you should do this as well. It's a 30 days challenge where basically you put your email, just your email, and then you receive every day a challenge. You receive an activity to do, something to learn, okay? And I invite, like I said, you to come, Natalia, as well as everyone else, every week on the YouTube channel and Facebook page of Mondosol. And you can be a special guest, you that are listening, if you have something to say for this industry, for this audience. If you are, an industry leader, then there is one spot available every time we do this interview. As well as, like I mentioned, you should come to the event in Milan if you can. That's definitely a great place to be, the BIT in Milan. And last thing is this, the course that we have been now packaging and we are launching as a test, as a beta. And this course is 5 years of experience wrapped up, and you can grab it for free as well, because that's the gift, the giveaway I'm gonna give right now to everyone listening. So if you happen to go to the shop, Mondosol, actually it's shop.mondosol.com, I'm gonna show it. It's this one. You can spin the wheel and you can get some discount if you are lucky. Or very simply, you click on rewards here, and then you join now. So you create your account. I'm gonna show you real quick, and you can get $10. So you don't need to do any crazy stuff. The $10 is out of my pocket. I do this just, to offer you a taste of what you can get from products or services. You will let me know if you enjoy it. That will be hit from your side. You can create an account with social media. Once you've done that, you will get credited. Then you can choose whatever you want. If it's up to $10, it's on me. You don't need to pay any extra, no shipping. If it's more, you pay whatever it is. And then you also have a chance to get more of these points and money by doing activities. You can read about it, ways to earn, ways to spend money, and you can refer people. That's another way you can get more money if you share the love of travel. And basically, what is Mondosol Shop? Today I was talking with the company behind the shop, which is Shopify, and they said, well, it's not clear. Let me make it clear now. I think I'm better talking than writing. This is a shop supporting the company mission, which is improving hospitality, and we serve two type of people: the guests traveling. So we have accessories for you. You know, if you want a bag, if you want something for the beach or for your kid, if you want something for outdoor, you know, camping, if you are a sport lover, if you want some accessories, there you can find plenty of products. And there is also a special section if you have a home, if you have an hospitality accommodation. Then there are things in the shop or partnering with Amazon. And then you know, those are the two type of demographic that we serve. So travel accessory, home accessories, and we have had it recently as well, some recommendation of companies that we use, that we have tested, PMS softwares, or OTA, online travel agency, or any other companies that we feel we have a connection with them, we have tested them, we really like them, so then we like to recommend. And that's it for today. So I'm gonna switch off. I'm gonna thank you very much for coming. Spin the win, spin the win, spin to win, spin to win, spin the wheel. I was gonna say, but spin to win. If you want to, if you're lucky or not, get a discount, get the travel, the cash points. You know, come to Milan, come to the Empower next week. If you want to talk, you just need to register as a guest. And the way you do it, you go to Empower Hospitality webinar, like Natalia did, and then you choose the day, you pick the day when you want to do this, and you just grab your ticket, free ticket. I will have maybe before a private call with you just to make sure we are on the same page, and that you're going to talk about a specific topic. You know, we have a spot for the 17th of February. I think the 24th is sold out. It's one person per time, no more than that. So you're going to have a full attention of their audience. It's going to be live on YouTube, Facebook, and possibly, if Bill Gates agree, also LinkedIn, and then Periscope. So that's a huge opportunity for everyone wanting to come and show their expertise and knowledge, and as well as for people wanting to learn. And so thank you very much, Natalia. Thank you very much to you also for being here until the end.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yes, I hope to connect with you soon. Maybe we're going to see each other in Berlin if you're coming to ITB, or if you're coming to host 2020 in London. Are you planning to go to some events? No?
London maybe sounds the most possible.
Come on, London, baby. Let's go to London. It was a lot of fun. I lived in London 3 times. And I think it's a crazy city. It's a cosmopolitan. It's a window in the world. You see everything and everyone there. It's I feel home because I like this cosmopolitan. I like to basically be in a place, but it's like being everywhere. And I think you like it too, no? Since you work in tourism.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it was great having you here. Thank you very much. We might connect, like I said again, and thank you everyone for being here. You know, for listening today, and please come back again. You know, support us. If you haven't done it yet, you just need to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, so you get notified. You probably also need to click the bell on YouTube. And you can also sign up in our newsletter, so you also get notified by email. And thank you very much for watching. Bye, everyone.